Hello, Star Wars unboxing fans. Welcome to another episode of Darth Tuba Star Wars Unboxing Show, Shelf Talk, Clone Wars Edition. And oh my goodness, I am flabbergasted. This is part 2 of what I thought would only be 2 parts, but it's looking like, yeah, this is probably going to stretch beyond 3, 4, 5 parts. So I'm probably going to just let it go from here and then kind of regroup and come back to it another day. And I'll tell you why. This is extremely overwhelming. It's awesome, and I applaud the viewer who suggested it, because what's nice about it, and this is what I love so much about this channel, and this is what I love about what I'm doing. As I've said many times before, guys, this is not, I'm being serious here. I am not trying to monetize this. You'll notice no ads. You know, will that change someday? Maybe, if I get into like the tens of thousands of subscribers, which I'm not thinking is going to happen. This is just for people who enjoy the Star Wars collecting hobby like I do and are interested in seeing the kind of things that I've acquired over the years, and maybe you might have an interest in acquiring them yourself, and if you do some sleuthing and looking around, you might find it, and I just like sharing it. And what's nice about it is that I have done more exploring of my own collection in the past 2-3 years since I started the channel than I've ever done for 15-20 years prior to that, like combined. You know, it used to be that I would get a toy, I would really admire it, I would either leave it in the box or take it out of the box, and then I would put it in my display, and then that would be it. I wouldn't touch it again. I wouldn't even look at it. I wouldn't even position it differently. You know, and that's not because I'm lazy or because I don't like it anymore. It's because life gets in the way. There's other things going on. We have our day jobs, we have our families, we have things that we need to do and want to do. So it's nothing wrong with that. But what this has forced me to do, and especially the shelf talks, is, you know, go back and look through some of these stuff and say, hey, you know, let's take these out and talk about how awesome they are and why they're awesome. So when a viewer requested a Clone Wars vehicle kind of breakdown, or, you know, with the things that I have, I said, oh, sure, I must have a couple. Well, I had enough to fill this table once, and then I said, all right, I got to get back to this. So I went and I researched what I had until I could fill the table. And as you can see, the table is full. And there are, you know, but what I did before that was I have my little iPad here. And by the way, for those who don't know this, and this is a nice little thing that I found out, is that the little Notes app on the iPad, you can actually include pictures. So I went through collecting sites like rebelscum.com and Jedi Temple Archives and found photo galleries of every single toy that has come out from like 2002 when the Clone Wars came out through today. And I've been able to kind of find one, look at the picture, take a copy of the picture, snap, you know, do a snip of the picture and put it in the notes along with the name of the vehicle. And it's become very valuable for me, because then it's kind of like a hunt, like a Where's Waldo in my collection. Because you got to remember, some stuff has been sitting in here since 2002. It's 2019. Think about that for a minute. That is what is that, 2002, 2012, yeah, 17 years. Just to give you a little bit of a context in that, okay? I teach high school. A lot of you know that. Some of you are my students. I teach high school age students that are ages 14 to 18. So some of these vehicles have been sitting in my shelf since before they were born, or just as they were born. That's crazy to think about. And they're getting ready to go to college now, many of them. So it's crazy to think about. So I'm really been enjoying this, so I thank that listener or that viewer, and please, if you have any other suggestions, please make them. It might take me a long time to get through them, but anyway, I've rambled on. So, what are we going to talk about here? Well, we're going to go through them, and I have my little list here, and I wasn't able to find everything in the order that I typed them there for one reason or another. So I'm just going to kind of go through and find a few things, starting with the Obi-Wan Jedi Starfighter. Okay, now you'll notice on here that I have a couple of Starfighters. Okay, and these aren't even all the Starfighters that I have, but this, I would say, is the answer to the X-Wing fighter of the prequel trilogy. The X-Wing fighter was, what you associate. Well, I would imagine that the Jedi Starfighter was the kind of the quintessential good guy vehicle of the prequels, and I really enjoyed it, and I liked how they varied it through the 3 movies. Okay, actually, you didn't really see it, I don't think, at all in the first movie. I think it was primarily a episode 2 and a slight variance on the episode 3, which we'll get to. So here's an example of it. Came with a little R4, kind of not just the head, and it had its standard cockpit. It had some play features where these things kind of popped off, and had its landing gear. I don't want to play too much with the buttons that launch the thing, but it's really cool. And they made many variants. What they basically did was they essentially tied that in to every Jedi, and apparently every Jedi had a color-coded droid and a color-coded starfighter to go with it. So I gathered many of them. Did I get all of them? I don't know. We'll have to see. But that's the Jedi starfighter. Now I want to bring out this baby. I want to talk about our Slave One. Okay, this is the Jango Fett Slave One. It is the exact same mold as the original vintage collection in the 80s Slave One. Okay, by the way, this handle, this is how it flies. Okay, it's supposed to look like a lamppost. That's what inspired it. Has some missile drops. It has some opening. It has some things that you can do for like this little flip over thing for like battle damage. It has the thing where you can launch some missiles here. I don't want to do any missile launching. I hope you don't mind. Okay. It also, now by the way, it has a way. Now I think the original one did kind of always have the wings kind of went on their own, but this one kind of, you can steer them one way or the other. And then of course the cockpit. And since this is the Jango Fett starfighter, it does not, Slave One, it does not include the Han Solo and Carbonite. So, careful there. All right, so that's pretty cool. Now, this one, this is actually an Episode 1 vehicle, but I decided to include it. Uh-oh, his guns are coming off. And I decided to include it because even though in the last episode I included the blue version of the droid tank, okay? The Armored Assault Tank is the official name of it. They've created new paint schemes for more from the Clone Wars era. But I do feel that this was the original. This is the one from Episode 1. But this was there for the start of the Clone Wars. And you could see it in the Clone Wars as well. So I kind of felt that it should count. And again, like I said in the last episode, one of my favorite things on this is the... okay, now I got to remember how that happens. How does one... I forget how to get this thing, but it has a thing here where you can... Come on. How do you do that? Darn it. Oh, wait. Oh, there goes the missiles. Okay, that doesn't count. I'll have to find them. There's a way to get this battle droid to... There's a way that you can do like it's an explode away feature that you can get this thing to... Oh, I think it's... Yeah, I don't remember how it works, but these parts come off. It's like kind of has a lot of breakaway features, so that's kind of a cool thing. I love breakaway features. Has a cockpit on the top, and that little battle droid that you saw on the front could flip around and be a damaged battle droid. So that's what. Oops, man, this thing is like falling apart though. I will say this: that some of these, I gotta say, in all honesty, some of these were in pretty dingy shape because they've been sitting in a basement for, again, well, this is even longer. This is 20 years. And I did do some, take a washcloth to wipe some of them off. But yeah, that was definitely a challenge. All right, now we have the Geonosian Flyer, which came with a Geonosian creature vehicle holder there. Okay, and this one. Now, this is one of those examples of some cost-cutting measures. Or maybe they're cost-cutting, maybe they're not. But they were hard plastic for about half of the length. And then they switched over to a rubber, like a rubber or vinyl or some kind of a different material. Now, it's great when you first buy it, but, these are not meant to last. I mean, they're plastic. I mean, they do biodegrade eventually. It might take thousands upon millions of years. But nonetheless, they don't buy them for them to last forever. And you can see that these things are starting to sag. So that's the only sad part about it. I understand that you can do some plying with it to make them, kind of get more looking like they should. Has this little missile launching feature. Kind of a cool vehicle. I don't want to press the button to launch it because I'm going to be when this video is done, I have to go around looking for all the missiles I launched. So I want to be careful there. All right, as I said, we're bopping around here from a lot of different things. No, that one's not here, and neither is that one. Oh, I hope I included everything. No, that's not there either. Oh my goodness, there are so many different ones. It's crazy. All right. Oh, here we go. It's right in front of me. The V-19 Starfighter. Okay, really cool. Has a couple of cool little features. This, I think, if I can get this to go the right way. I'm not sure how that. Yeah, there we go. Now, I gotta say, a big kudos to Hasbro for newer vehicles that can fall apart and are easier to put together. Okay, but this is a nice one. Obviously, the Imperial cog on it shows that it's New Republic, but then this locks in so it lands better. All right, so that's pretty cool. Nope, gotta get my landing gear back up so it'll stay sturdy. Okay, oh yeah, here's a cool one. I don't think this one was in the. I think this one might have been the Clone Wars, the old Clone. Yes, it's 2003. So I'm thinking this was the Clone Wars, Genndy Tartakovsky series, and this was Anakin's modified Jedi Starfighter, which just souped up, kind of hot roddy. Added some extra boost underneath, extra power. So if you can see, if you look at the Jedi Starfighter versus this, how they, it has the same thumbprint or footprint, and then they just kind of doctored it up a little bit. And I do believe that was something you can see in the animated show. And I've mentioned this before, but if you have not seen the animated show, I'm talking not 3D animation, I'm talking about 2D animation. It's a hoot. It's a lot of fun, okay? I mean, just so much fun. I can't even tell you. All right, so sorry if as I stretch, sometimes my mic gets caught. I apologize. There we have another one. We have the Corporate Alliance Tank Droid. Always thought this was a really cool design. Really neat, and it has the treads, that moves. So, the only thing that would have made this better is if they made it remote controlled. To me, that's a throwback to the remote controlled tank that they made with G.I. Joe back in the day. It's got some launching cannons. It's got these two things that look like eyeballs in the front to give it almost like a slug or snail-like look. So that's really cool. All right, moving right along. Trying to see if we have any other ones here that are not. Man, there are a lot. And I don't even know if I have all of these. I'm just going through. I know I have some of them. Oh, here we go. We have, now we're getting into more episode 3, but it is still Clone Wars. We have Aayla Secula's Starfighter. Okay, and as you can see, I think, if I'm looking at, this is 2000, I want to say 2007, but I could be wrong. 2004, actually. Okay, so this is still, no, it can't be 2004. It says 2000. I bet 2004. Okay, so I guess this was. I thought this design was more of a. I thought this design with the non-triangular one was more episode 3. So maybe it came out a little early. But as you can see, what I like about this design is that it's starting to emulate the TIE Fighter. You're almost starting to get the TIE Fighter, ball cockpit. You're almost starting to get the wings. I mean, it's like a hybrid of X-Wing and TIE. It's kind of cool. So always like that. And I did try to pick out things that were different, Okay, and then, here we go. We got Anakin's Delta Starfighter. That's this one. Okay, and now trying to look for the year on this one. 2008. So now we're definitely getting into the Clone Wars era cartoon, the 3D cartoon. But you can see, they really adhere to the same mold as the original Jedi Starfighter. Okay, but they're just trying to get a little bit more creative with it. So really cool. And I do believe that even though it is 2008, they use a realistic R2. I don't think this is an R2 that you can take out. I don't I think you can. No, I think it's stuck there. It is there. Okay. Oop, go away. Go away. All right. There we go. There are so many that I haven't even gotten to yet, folks. I can't even tell you. But I'm just trying to go through and make sure. I promise I will get more episodes going. All right. I promise you that. It's just that there are so many here that it's just crazy. Okay, and then we're getting into, looks like after that, oh, you know what, I'll have to go back and recheck some of these because I just realized that there's a couple on here that I never really did. So that's a problem. As I said, my research was kind of shady. Like there's this one, and I apologize, maybe someone can give me a shout out in the comments as to which one this is. Obviously it's another Jedi Starfighter, but I do not have, it's 2008, so it might be an Obi-Wan. Although I did this one, I like, comes with like a little cockpit for the droid, and it is an actual droid. I don't know if this droid was the original droid that came with this or just one I put in. I'd have to look it up. So I will do some more research on my end, but you guys on your end, if you want to let me know which one it is, I appreciate it. But I'm guessing 2008. We're talking Clone Wars now, so it's probably might be Obi-Wan's. It might be another Anakin one. I'm not sure. Of course, a stat vehicle with I have a bunch of these. This is, of course, the battle droid method of travel. Okay, and I always loved the way these were positioned, and I liked how they were used. I thought it worked really well in complement with the battle droid. What I'm going to do, guys, is I don't know if I'm going to get any close-ups of all of this that I'm going to insert. I might put it all at the end just to kind of make that happen. I think I'm almost done. There's two more. There's Yoda's Starfighter, which I always love that, of course, Yoda's Starfighter is smaller because Yoda is smaller. Judge him not by size, do you, though? And he came with his own little droid, which I thought was cute. I like the Yoda that's inside actually has a headset, which I think is kind of cute. Like not a full headset, it's just like that little wraparound headband kind of thing. So that's really cool. And then on this episode, the last thing I want to show is the newly designed Slave One from the episode 2. And I do believe this might have been, this is actually 2010. So I do believe this actually came as a package, a battle pack, because where I picked it up, it included some other figures. Anakin, Mace Windu in armor, a young Obi-Wan, a young Boba Fett when he was a child, and I think this is definitely designed there. It could have been re-released from previous years, okay, but obviously you can see when you line it up next to the original one, this is the one that was based on the original mold. You can see that they've definitely improved on the size. I think they've improved on shipbuilding technology. Okay, so they have a lot of little nooks and crannies in here, ways to launch. There's a thing here that drops some of those sonic bombs. Really, really cool stuff. And I just realized that the cockpits comes out. There's a 3-seater cockpit in here. So really, really cool stuff. All right, so there's some awesome Clone Wars stuff, and I have only scratched the surface. There is at least another episode or two, and guess what? I don't even think I have all of this. I mean, I did draw the line when it came to the Starfighters. I collected some of them, but honestly, I don't need one of every color scheme. You know what I mean? Especially if it's the exact same one. Same thing with Republic gunships. I kept got a couple of them, but there was a few that I didn't do. Also, you have to remember there's a few other big vehicles. There's the clone tank. There's the MTT droid, tank. There's a bunch of them, and I really want to get all of them together and try to show them all. So I will do that in a future upcoming episode. But in the meantime, thank you so much for watching. That'll conclude this week's episode of Shelf Talk, Darth Tuba Star Wars Unboxing Show. Be sure to like, subscribe, share, hit the notification button. Spread the word. I'm getting roughly around 15 subscribers, new subscribers a month, which is awesome. Spread the word. Let other people know about it. Check me out on Instagram and Twitter at Darth Tuba, and I have a Darth Tuba Star Wars Unboxing page on Facebook. And you can leave comments or email me at darthtuba77@gmail.com if you have anything you want me to show but take a number because I'm still not done with the Clone Wars one. And on top of that, we just got that sail barge, and I've got some awesome things to add to it. Some awesome unboxings to take out and put with the sail barge, and I'm really excited to do in a future episode. There's also a couple of other unboxings that we have coming up, and I'm really excited, and I can't wait to show it to you. So until next time, thanks for watching, and may the Force be with you.